now we're going to talk about photo selection. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you about what makes a good photo and what you should look for and what you should avoid, you know, because there's definitely some things that make these three pictures not good or not good. And if you choose a good photograph to begin with, it already holds all the things that make a good quilt. But you have to notice and you have to choose it on purpose, because there's also things that can make it a horrible quilt or a horrible photo for this technique. So what makes a good photo? You have to notice the color value. That means the lights, that means the highlights, the lights, the mediums, and the darks, which are the shadows. And so what you're looking for is a nice balance that includes all three. Some photos have a lot of light and they wash out all the shadows or all the contours. Some of them, there's not enough, or there's too much noise in the background that interfere with the picture. It would cause a lot of work to make, you know, a lot of fabric to deal with the background that's not important to the image. And also if the eyes are clear, because somehow when you can see the eyes in their clarity, it makes the whole rest of it look more real and more perfect. So with those things in mind, which one of these pictures, A, B, or C, do you think is a good picture for quilted photography? You can unmute yourself and answer that.
I vote for C.
I vote for C.
I vote for C.
Well, you guys are great. You're right. C is great for those reasons. It has, you can see the lights on this side. The light is coming from this direction. And you can see the light on this side, and then it forms contours that create the shapes in the face. You know, like I talked about a little while ago, how if you draw something just as you see it, or just as you think it is and not as you see it, you might just draw the outline. But really what makes this lady look like herself is the shape of everything else. And you can see that because of the contours created by those midtones and shadows. So you guys are absolutely right. And so again, when you look at these three photos, which one do you think is good for quilted photography?
I vote for C again, but I'd crop it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. For the same reason, you can see here that this has no highlights and shadow. It's like a big flash on it that makes everything it would be horrible. This one is a little bit better, but it still has too much light. And just so I don't forget about saying this, the worst pictures seem to be studio pictures, or modern studio pictures, I should say. Old pictures generally don't do this, but they put lights everywhere. And so that makes it so that there are no shadows and things. And so
They do that to erase wrinkles and make people look younger.
you know, but you know, like when I took that class,
What didn't she
you know,
tell
the perfect people weren't the ones that were fun or even made the best drawings. It was the ones that had folds and wrinkles and had, you know, round, plump limbs and bellies. I mean, somehow it was way more interesting. And it's the same here. We want to see those folds and wrinkles and whatever else they have. It makes it more amazing, actually. More beautiful at the end. And what do you think about these three?
B.
C? Anybody else have an opinion?
A.
A is awfully cute. I think
I-
B has too much white in it.
Yeah.
I think B.
And C.
You are, how you guys learn so quick. Yeah, it's B and C. And this baby is awful cute. However, there's too much light. It looks like it was in a studio and they just lit her up in you know, put light everywhere. So it wouldn't be a very good quilted photo because there's no contours and no shadows. However, from this bride here, you can see the light comes from this direction, and it will cause the fabric, the pattern to run through the colors, and it would create these contours that will be beautiful. And the same with this one. The light is coming from this direction. Even though this dog is one color, when you look at him now, it would just be gorgeous. So did you learn something from these three?
Yes.
Can you see the difference? And you also got to pay attention to the background. In some of the photos, I did go, and if there was too much junk in the background, I did take them into, if it was necessary, into Photoshop and got rid of or simplified the backgrounds. And that's so that your outcome wouldn't be littered with so much stuff in the back. And that is a possibility to keep in mind for later. So I like the saying of Vincent van Gogh. He said, the best pictures, and from a technical point of view, the most complete, seen from nearby, are but patches of color, side by side, and only make an effect at a certain distance. And that's exactly what we are